Championship leader Mike Briggs snatched pole position in the Opel Racing Astra and will be looking for his 6th Stannic Satcar Series victory. Alongside Briggs on the front row is local favourite Dion Joubert in the Johnson Matthey BMW. Home track knowledge could be vital for Joubert. Third place on the grid went to the second Opel Astra in the hands of former junior motocross star Grant McCleary. McCleary still has to win in Stannic Satcar. Former World Stock Car champion and BMW development driver Jeff Goddard lines up alongside McCleary in the Castrol Futron BMW. Fifth on the grid is the first of the Minolta Toyota Sprinters in the hands of Springbok Mike White. White is also a former British single-seater champion and has alongside him privateer Farouk Dangor in the BMW M3. Neither Serge Damso in the Minolta Toyota nor Carlos Capella in the BMW M3 nor Nick Duval in the BP Nissan Sentra made it through qualifying. The trio will start from the back of the grid. The Drivers' Parade has by now become traditional in Stannic Satcar racing and gives the spectators the opportunity to take a closer look at their heroes. It was a record crowd of close to 20,000 fanatical Cape motoring enthusiasts who were showing just who they fancied for the race. Cape Town's Killarney circuit is one of the oldest in the country and has seen many memorable local and international races. It is also one of the most demanding, and the smallest mistake can cost a driver many valuable seconds or even the race. On the starting grid for the first race of the day and next to Michael Briggs, it is Dion Joubert. All the teams are making final second adjustments in the hope that it will make a difference, but from now on it's all up to the drivers. 10 laps of high-speed action ahead, and Michael Briggs in the Opel Astra leads the field off the line for the warm-up lap. The drivers use this opportunity to make sure that everything is working on the car, and we asked Briggs about his thoughts on the Killarney turnout.
For so many years, I've been in this business, and this was the first time I've ever seen this kind of involvement. You know, I've gone to Grand Prix and I've watched it, and I've always wondered what it must be like to have that kind of support behind you. And it makes a difference. It actually makes it very difficult to concentrate on the race because you're always aware of the crowd on the side shouting. You can actually hear them from time to time. So it makes it so much more worthwhile. You know, you just push a little bit harder because you know that you're not just driving around there with 10 people watching. There was 25,000 people watching, and it really makes you feel good. It makes it worthwhile.
Dion Joubert in the Johnson Matthey BMW is probably the man with the most experience of the Killarney circuit, having developed various models of single-seater and saloon cars on this circuit. But Grant McCleary is hungry for his first Satcar win for Opel.
I've been racing most of my life, and I get nervous every single time I race. And when I race the motorbikes, I probably got even more nervous, you know. And when I first started racing cars, I didn't sleep the night before, but now I'm starting to cope better with that. But you get very, very nervous. I think it's just a sign of being competitive. And if you don't get nervous, then something's wrong, you know.
Serge Damso in the Minolta Toyota Sprinter is an old hand at circuit racing, but must be feeling just a little bit frustrated right now.
The last night, replaced the camshaft. It doesn't seem to be quite the right camshaft because we've lost some power somewhere, so it's going to make it a bit difficult today. It's always a problem starting in the back of the field because you never know who could stall in front of you, and it could actually cause a lot more damage than you expected.
They're coming to the end of the warm-up lap right now, and the heart in each chest will be pumping, the adrenaline will be flowing, and the palms inside those racing gloves will be sweating. Michael Briggs brings his Opel Astra onto the starting grid and into pole position. Dion Joubert's Johnson Matthey BMW is looking menacing in the second position, with Grant McCleary in the second Opel Astra and Jeff Goddard in the Castrol Futron BMW making up the second row, followed by the Minolta Toyota of Mike White, the BP Nissan of Nick Duval, and the second Minolta Toyota of Serge Damso. Dangor had a tyre problem and has to start from pit lane. Newcomer Carlos Capella's BMW is right at the back. The revs are up and they're off. A good start by McCleary and a bad start by Goddard. We're in car with Nick Duval, and he flies past Goddard's slow-starting BMW. In front of him, it's Briggs, Joubert and McCleary. Intercontinental for the first time, and just look at that great start by Duval. And also Damso in the Toyota. Damso takes the corner a little bit too fast and does well to keep his car under control. But he lets Duval in the BP Nissan into fourth position, and his Minolta teammate Mike White also shoots by. Briggs holds the racing line into Castrol, with Duval trying a very wide line. This is Jeff Goddard's Castrol Futron BMW. He must be fuming about his bad start. Briggs' Opel Astra seems to have come out of the corner somewhat quicker than his opposition, but through Volkswagen corner they're catching up. It's Briggs, Joubert, McCleary and Duval who's making great progress in the BP Nissan. This is the view from third place Grant McCleary's Opel Astra through the very tricky double right-hander Sabat sweep. Just listen to those lightning-quick gear shifts. Now it's flat out in sixth gear down Killarney's famous back straight and hard on the brakes, down through the gearbox and into Stannic corner in second. Joubert has his sights firmly set on Briggs' first position and must surely be making his plans for the overtaking manoeuvre. These drivers push the revs up to a maximum in each gear, and one can only imagine the punishment they dish out to the engine and gearbox. 1 down and 9 to go, and Joubert is all over Briggs, while McCleary has his own problems to contend with in the shape of BP Nissan Sentra of Nick Duval. The Opel BMW trio lead the pack into Castrol, and further back it's Damso and White in the Minolta Toyota Sprinters, followed by Jeff Goddard in the Johnson Matthey BMW. Goddard is still trying to make up for his mistake on the start line, but White will have none of it. Curb hopping is the name of the game in this furious battle for the lead, while the second group are also out to outwit each other in every corner. This is a frighteningly fast straight with speeds of up to 250 kilometers per hour in top gear. Duval drives out to the outside, but McCleary cleverly holds onto the inside line and blocks his move. The BP Nissan Sentra is really proving that it's on the pace. From Duval's BP Nissan race cam, we can closely follow this battle for third place. The drivers are not averse to some strong-arm tactics, even though that pit lane wall is looming. It's neck and neck down the main straight, but it seems that McCleary's Opel Astra just has the legs in the line for Continental Corner, and McCleary is still hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Farouk Dangor's speedy car sales BMW M3 is 2 laps down after his last-minute problem at the start, and with the leaders bearing down on him, he gives them as much room as possible. This, however, gives Dion Joubert the chance he's been waiting for, and he exits Stannic much faster than Briggs. We're in car with Joubert, and ever so slowly he closes in on Briggs' Opel Astra. Who will give way at Continental? Intercontinental for the 6th time. Briggs has the ideal line, but Joubert knows his and the car's limits very well. That's a brilliant piece of racing by the Cape Town-born driver. He took the wide line and dived through on the inside, swapping paint with the Opel. Further back on the same corner, and Jeff Goddard has decided now's the time to strike at Mike White's 5th position. White is a hard racer, though, and will not take this lying down. Let's watch this fascinating battle from the Johnson Matthey BMW's cockpit. Mike White has had his fair share of fender-bashing incidents in the Stannic Satcar series.
The cars are, in the first place, very difficult to drive. They are very hard sprung. They've got small tyres, front-wheel drive with a lot of power going through the front wheel. So you haven't got that much control at high speeds.
Up front, the battle between BMW and Opel still rages. Briggs is using the slipstream caused by the Joubert car, but is not quite close enough to overtake. These cars handle a lot like single-seaters, which means there's very little body roll through the corners, and the drivers have to put up with tremendous G-forces. The leaders are closing in on the slower Class A cars in the Stannic Group N race, and this could create traffic problems for Joubert and Briggs. A lot of skill is needed to be able to pass the slower cars without losing any time, and Joubert will have to be as ruthless as Ayrton Senna. Just look at the way he slices through this battle in the Stannic Group N race, and Briggs is also through. That's Carlos Capella's British Touring Car Championship winning BMW M3 up ahead, and he had better get out of the way. Capella is making his Stannic Satcar debut and hasn't seen the 2 leaders. He's holding up Joubert, and Briggs loses no time in taking the gap. Capella goes farming, and Joubert must be fuming. Here's Dion Joubert's view of that incident. He has Briggs on his inside and is struggling to control the car under braking. A nudge for Capella, and Briggs dives through on the inside. Is this it for the hometown hero? One more lap for leader Mike Briggs, and only a few more opportunities for Dion Joubert to try and regain the lead. This is Sean van der Linde and Robbie Smith battling it out for the Stannic Group N lead, and they're not going to give way easily and risk losing out in the process. Briggs has locked up under braking and is off. Joubert can't believe his good fortune, and even Grant McCleary passes Briggs while he's struggling to get back onto the track. Another replay from the Joubert BMW. He sees Briggs trying to go round the outside, waits for the gap and takes over the lead with only 4 corners to go. That's a huge lead for Joubert, who must surely win his first race since East London 10 weeks ago. Further back, Briggs is closing in on his Opel teammate Grant McCleary, and under hard braking for Stannic corner, Briggs takes the inside line and reclaims second position. It's checkered flag time for Dion Joubert in his Johnson Matthey BMW 318i. He probably didn't expect that 1 lap ago. Second is Michael Briggs, and third Grant McCleary in their Opel Astras. But behind them, there's more drama. It's Mike White and Jeff Goddard at each other's throats again. They touch, and Goddard pushes White off the track. A dreadful afternoon for the Toyota team. But fortunately, White keeps the engine running and is able to rejoin the race. This is what it looked like from White's Minolta Toyota. Goddard in 5th place locks up his brakes and goes wide. White ducks into the inside but still has Goddard on his outside. Damso is pulling away in the distance, and all of a sudden White goes sideways. He gets the car going again, but is clearly one very unhappy racing driver. Something also seems to be amiss with the car. Notice how he has to struggle with the steering wheel, and as he crosses the finish line, he fights to keep the car on the road. He's lucky not to bump into the barrier wall. An oil sender unit in the engine has broken, spraying oil all over the Toyota's tyres and engine compartment. Maximum points for the Joubert BMW, with Opel occupying the 2nd and 3rd spots. Nissan can feel proud of Nick Naval and the BP Nissan's performance, while Damso, Goddard, White and Dangor fill the remaining positions.
I'm on pole now, so I'll probably be in front. I'll have to soak up the pressure from Michael, and when we catch the slow cars, I'll have to make the decisions. It's always easier when you're second to make a clever decision in the slow traffic, so there'll be a bit more pressure on me this time.
With 1 lap to go, I just knew that the 2 cars in front were of the same make as the car behind me, so I wasn't expecting to get any assistance in passing them. So I had to go for outright pass maneuver, and I just overdid it, to be honest. And I ran wide and it gave it to Dion. But it was a great race.
The car's got fantastic potential. The team is now up and running, and morale is good. And from here we can only go very fast forward.
I outbraked him cleanly going into the corner. Came out the corner with the right line. I was in front. And he tried to get on the outside of me where there was no room for him. And we made contact. And he simply took us out. I think it's tit for tat. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not crying. It's racing.
Stay with us for highlights of round 10 of the Stannic Satcar series. Stannic are the proud sponsors of the Satcar series. Stannic, your motor vehicle finance specialists. With us, you can go so much further.